time.
Why don't you start with your name and where, when you were born and where?
Right now?
Yeah.
I was born in Czechoslovakia in 1912, August 31st. And what else?
Your name?
Esther Simon,
In what town in Czechoslovakia?
Chernoholova.
Which is near where?
Uzhhorod, near Uzhhorod. The last years we were occupied by Hungarians, but I went to Czech schools and I'm used to it to say just those names from Czechoslovakia.
And you were the oldest, the youngest?
I was the youngest.
And your family had come from?
Also from Czechoslovakia.
They had, your parents were born in the same town?
Yeah, my parents were born in the same town, yes.
And their parents?
Also.
And what did they do there? What kind of work did they do?
So my father had an office, he was an officer, but besides that he was a landowner.
A landowner.
Yeah.
So he was a landlord?
Not landlord, a landowner.
So what, they had trees and so forth?
Fields and cattle and
So you had
a house and yeah. We weren't poor.
Pardon?
We weren't poor.
So you had servants and so forth?
Yeah, we had servants too.
And how many children in your family? You were the youngest. How many children were there?
Actually, my brother, one brother, he was the youngest, and he perished. He got killed in Yugoslavia when Hitler occupied Yugoslavia. There were 300 boys waiting for emigration to Israel. They never did. They got killed. All 300.
But that was a lot later, right?
Not later, before.
This was
During the war.
I see.
During the war.
Can you tell us a little bit about your family and when you were growing up? You were one of how many children?
There were 9 sisters, brothers, but 2 passed away by normal death. And the rest is gone in Auschwitz.
Right. Can you tell us a little bit about your family life as you were growing up?
Well, it was a respected family. They worked. Everybody had their job, and the boys went to yeshiva, went on jobs.
And how about you? Did you go to school? What kind of school?
Of course I went to school.
Okay. Can you
But
tell
you
us
know,
about
it was such a mix-up, Czech school, Russian school, and Hungarian school, so I went.
Which kind of school did you go to?
Elementary, and I did some part of high school, but I was interrupted in the middle. And I just studied from my brothers. He was a teacher. My oldest brother was a teacher.
Everybody lived in the same house,
No,
even when they grew up?
They lived in the same house, but then when they went to yeshiva, they went to Czechoslovakia, to Bratislava, if you heard the city. Bratislava, Mukačeva. They all went their way. Like when in the worst times, he was in Budapest and he kept himself up from giving English lessons. They were intelligent people. They weren't, even it wasn't such a big city, but they went to yeshivas, they went to school, they finished school. And I was with my parents. I visited the cities where my sisters, my brothers lived when they got married.
They were, many of your brothers and sisters were married?
Most of them. One brother was in the Czech Legion.
The Czech Legion?
Yeah, and that's how I have pictures. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to have pictures, because I was in concentration camp. So, but he ended up in the English army. And he married there. So it's also, I have the pictures.
Maybe,
Those
are
were
those
so-
of your early years? Is this a
This
picture?
a brother who perished with the
Do
three
you know
children.
when that first picture of a man and a woman, a young couple, can you tell us when that was taken?
When he was engaged with
When he
that,
was
with
engaged.
that girl.
When was that? Do you know what year that was
Yes.
roughly?
Could be 4 or 5 years before the war.
Before the war.
Yeah.
Let's go
About
back
years.
to when you were a young person. Can you tell us, you had many brothers and sisters and you were all educated and you lived very comfortably.
Yeah.
Can you tell us something about what your family life was like? Maybe how you celebrated holidays and
Wonderful, beautifully. The boys used to come home for the holidays. We celebrated. And,
You came from an observant family?
of course, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Real Orthodox.
Uh-huh.
Modern Orthodox.
Uh-huh. Modern.
Modern Orthodox,
Your,
not,
your
uh,
father didn't wear a bekishe? Or,
No. No, a plain black hat, and he was a very sympathetic, respected, lovable person.
Uh-huh.
Everybody liked him. He was like the lawyer for the community.
There was a large Jewish community there?
Not so large, not so large. I just have this picture in front of me when they announced that they will take us away from the homes. We can take only 40 pounds each. But since my mother became sick, so just me and my father carried the 40 pound on the shoulders. And from both sides, police watched us. They was chasing us, not one, but chasing like the dogs. So my father said, stupid people, I need 2 policemen to watch me, an old man. What is the use of this? It was chasing us with the 2 rifles from both sides.
Uh-huh.
So our destination was Auschwitz.
But that was a good bit later. Let's just sort of move back a little bit. So there was, did the Jewish community stay together, celebrate holidays together, or
What
did
do
you
you mean,
mix? Did you mix with the regular
before-
population?
you mean
before
before
the
the
war,
war?
1920s?
Everybody celebrated with their own families.
Yeah. Was there a strong Gemeinde, or?
No, it wasn't so strong, but my father was the head in the school. He conducted everything.
Uh-huh.
And,
You had a rabbi?
He wasn't a rabbi. He was a smart man and a learned man, so everybody liked him.
Uh-huh. Okay, so then when did you start to worry about the Germans?
This brother, I don't have him. This brother, he had a job in Czechoslovakia, Sudetenland. Sudetenland. He saw everything that went on. And he told us shocking stories.
He came home?
He came home in between, you know.
Uh-huh.
And he told us shocking stories, and we couldn't believe it.
Uh-huh.
Not that he couldn't believe that it was going to happen with us, but we couldn't believe it that this exists at all.
What did he tell you?
They came to the German families. If the head of the family was sitting by the table, they took the jacket and nailed it to the table. He shouldn't be able to move. Or they gave an order that he should come there in that place, and he never returned. And they hit the families, and all kind of terrible stories, all kind of terrible stories.
do you remember when he came with these stories? Do you remember when that was?
It was a year before we were taken away, not even a year. It was the next day after Easter, Pesach.
Uh-huh.
He took us and...
He came for Pesach and he told you the story of what happened?
Yeah.
And then he went back to Sudetenland, or he stayed with you?
Sudetenland, he was with this brother, with the youngest brother, together with another friend, and they left everything and they went, but he got stuck in Yugoslavia.
Uh-huh.
And the other brother got stuck in the Czech Legion. He wanted to do that. That's how he was saved.
This was the brother
survived.
from Sudetenland.
Yeah,
He went into
he
the
survived.
Czech Legion.
Yeah, and that's how he survived.
Did your father think maybe we should get away from here, or was there any talk about running away?
Oh, they were running away. They
Yeah.
were running
What
away.
about
but
you?
me, no. I didn't have the slightest idea about it's going to be with us, and I wouldn't leave my parents. My mother was sick.
Uh-huh.
I didn't have that. Just they tortured us. When the first day after Pesach, they put us, a few hundred people, in one room
Uh-huh.
in a school, without water, without anything. We were dying for thirst.
And what year was this?
This was 1944.
1944.
1944, because I was a year in concentration camp and we were liberated in 45, so that's how I know exactly. April 44, April, the day I don't remember.
They got you all together, but the Germans were there before that.
No, that wasn't the Germans, they were the Hungarian police, gendarmerie.
Uh-huh. And they were not so...
They were not so, and they were, because, you know, when they have a chance to do something with a Jew, they do it.
Uh-huh. And what
Even
kind of
they
things
were
did-
very friendly with us. Just so happened they were friendly with my father and with the whole family.
So they
But
didn't
it's-
bother your family that much? Just other
They
people?
took everybody together.
Uh-huh.
So till the morning we were there. In the morning they took us to Auschwitz.
How did they take you? You
Oh
walked?
no, not Auschwitz. First to a ghetto,
Uh-huh.
to Ushkara, to the bigger town.
Uh-huh. You walked to Ushkana?
No, they took us by train.
Uh-huh. But I remember you told me this.
This was already when they chased us from the ghetto to Auschwitz.
I see. But how did you get from your town to the ghetto?
To the ghetto. I don't remember exactly, but not by foot.
Not by foot.
Not by foot.
And not on your own steam. You went.
No,
they-
the ghetto was very bad. very
Did
bitter.
you know about the ghettos before this? Had you heard also?
We heard
from your
already
brothers?
because my niece lived in Munkac.
How far was that from your town?
It's far. It's like from here to, what shall I say, like from New York to Chicago or
Far. Okay, it was far.
Philadelphia. Yeah. So,
But you were in contact.
we were till there was possibility. I had an older brother, the oldest brother, who lived in the same town. So he wrote to me that it's very bad. They're taking families and they don't know where to. And so that we end up in the ghetto to sleep on the floors without food, without anything.
Do you
Just
remember the first day you got to the ghetto?
First day.
The first day when you arrived at...
First day we saw it's bitter, it's not good.
What was that day like? Was it raining? Was it...
It wasn't raining exactly. Just we saw that we didn't know what's going to happen.
Did you arrive at the train station? Did you...
I don't remember that how we arrived to. Just you know, till we got in the ghetto, we didn't have food. Nobody cared about us. And I just remember that we saved the crust from the bread, and we soaked it in the water.